Hey, welcome in everyone. Welcome to Dom Time. Boy, tonight, heck of a show for you, and we really would like to have you call in. Over the years, I've talked a lot in talk radio and somewhat here on the TV show about the Philadelphia area, the entire area being the last big union area or town in America, particularly Philadelphia. There's an upside to that, and I happen to think often a lot of a downside. Joining us tonight are two guys on opposite sides of this issue. Joining us is Matt Rooney. He's the founder of Save Jersey. Matt's been with us before, and a friend of the radio show, Pat Gillespie, the president of the powerful building trades in Philadelphia. And Pat, we'll start with you. What's the upside of Philadelphia being arguably the still big labor town in America?
Well, people have the opportunity to make a decent wage and feed their families and educate their children and maybe even get a vacation. And not necessarily worry about the proverbial wolf that'll be at your door. Hi, Mom. I'm on television. I see myself on television. This is great. But setting the stage this way, like unions good or bad. Well, unions are part of society. They should rightfully take credit for an awful lot of societal good. Without the organizations and without people banding together to tell their employer, look, you have to treat us better. Now, I don't necessarily subscribe to getting things through legal fiat because that displaces the organizations and it doesn't have the proper tailoring. But at the same time, it's interesting to be copied by the legislatures and by the government. They copy things like, okay, well, it's the 40-hour
Okay,
week.
well, let me bring Matt in. All right, Matt, my argument is that, and I think Pat would agree with this, most people would, if not number one, Philadelphia area is the union town. It's in the roots of the town, it's in the culture, it's the whole thing, even here in South Jersey.
Sure.
What's the big problem with that? You heard Pat, arguably middle-class lifestyle, and I would agree the unions 30s, 40s, 20s, they gave America the middle-class lifestyle, all the things we have now. So why not be in the capital of that?
Well, I think that one of the things that always stands out when people defend unions' roles in modern society is that it's always an historical lens. Yes, child labor laws and things that came about almost 100 years ago now.
Pat didn't say that. He said, though, middle-class life today, right now today, that's being threatened across the country.
But that's the point. The economy's changed dramatically since then.
Right.
Things like collective bargaining and the prevailing wage and treating people as a whole collectively in a factory worked when there was assembly lines, when there wasn't much variation between people's labors. Now we live in a society where the marketplace is constantly changing, the economy is much more diversified, and when you treat people as a collective, it doesn't reward productivity.
Because the argument would be a lot of people watching tonight are middle class. They would say those jobs have been taken overseas because of that. They're not all entrepreneurs like I am, you might be, and some others. They just want middle-class jobs.
Well, that's exactly right. So if they're interested in being able to have a job and attracting more labor back to this part of the world, they should be interested in having competitive prices for that labor.
Pat, not competitive. I mean, I've seen some figures.
Well, sure.
Philadelphia versus the suburbs.
30%,
it's unbelievable.
30% difference. It's unbelievable.
That's a lot.
God, that's huge. But it's not. They're not real numbers. I mean, in my industry, that's what the non-union folks always say. Well, it's 30%. It costs more to get your projects done. Well, the total project, the total contribution in a construction project for labor is about 30%. So what are they going to work for free? They work for nothing? Look, the argument should be, how do we protect people who work for wages? And sure, the dynamics changed from we still could employ a lot of people in manufacturing if people wanted to spend the capital to do that. And there are some people in Camden right now who are about to do that. There are some people in the petrochemical industry in Philadelphia who are very anxious and are spending some real dollars, not government dollars, but some real dollars, and they're starting to take their monies out of the mattresses that they've been in for years and start getting them back into the capitalistic way. And we want to be part of that. We want to have people who are trained, who are as productive and as efficient as possible for these projects and for this operation.
All righty, we're talking with Pat Gillespie and Matt Rooney, and we'd love to get you on board. Philadelphia, the last big labor area, last big labor city. Is that a good idea? The last union town with Dom Time here. Your calls are next.